All right, you guys. So what's happening? Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. I am super humbled and excited to be chatting with one of my really good friends slash sister slash a whole lot of stuff. And if you don't have one in your life, then you definitely need to get you one. If you guys tuned into the live earlier, I talked a little bit about mindset, and I really think that all of this just kind of ties into exactly what I was talking about earlier. Genesis Blu, for you guys who do not know her, she's a hip hop artist, and I can't really like give a real good introduction because it's like a plethora of things that I should be saying, but she's a hip hop artist. She's a philanthropist within the Houston area. She's a mental health and family therapist. She's a songwriter. It's like a whole 9 yards. And I call her but you guys can call her Genesis Blu. She is one of my top 5. And if you guys have been around me for a while, I talk a lot about having a secure foundation of the people who are pouring into your life. And this is one of mine. So again, I'm just super stoked for her to even be here because she's usually not even in Houston. Like she'll hop 2 planes in one day and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm back. But I just wanted to bring her in to come pour into you guys tonight because I know that anytime that I'm sitting down talking to her, my whole mind frame changes. So I just wanted her to bring her in so that she can come pour into you guys as well. Usually I have someone from It Works Global coming in to come give us some tips. So this is definitely a different route that I'm taking tonight, but I do not think that should be watered down by far. And I really think that this guest coming in tonight will actually take your business to a whole nother level because it's a completely outside experience. So Genesis Blu, if you can, I tried to give you an introduction, but if you can, please take the floor and give everybody an introduction of who you are, what you do, and I'm going to start asking you some questions because those things are also pertaining to the entrepreneurship of how we do network marketing over here. You can have the floor. Who are you? What do you do? Give it to us.
First of all, shout out to all you ladies, all ladies, right? Is it all ladies?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to all the ladies who are logging on tonight. It means that you want something greater with your life because you could be doing anything at 9 o'clock in the evening. And I know some of you have kids and families and lovers or whatever. So it's a wonderful thing. It means that you're serious and you do want to take your life to the next level, right? So about me, my name is Yvette Cornish, but my stage name and my identity now has become more of a Genesis Blu, right? So you said, what a little bit about me. I am first a mental health professional, right? So I've been doing that for quite some time. I got my master's in psychology and then went to doctoral school, but we'll talk about that in a second. And so that's my day-to-day living is a psychotherapist. That's the bread and butter. That's how I make a lot of my money. But I'm also a hip hop artist. So I do music, but I do sort of like a positive rap that's still fun. So that's another thing that I do. And then my third identity, I like to identify as a raptivist or an activist, right? So I feel that I'm an activist, a philanthropist. My whole goal in life is to help others be happy, successful, peaceful, whatever it is that they're looking for in their purpose. I feel like that's my purpose, to help other people reach their goals and dreams. It brings me peace and happiness. And so that's what I've been doing for the past few years when I figured out what my real purpose is. Did that answer the question okay?
Yes, it does. It does. So because this platform is a little bit different, I am going to pick your brain, and I also want you to kind of give everybody a session. And you know what I mean by that. But I want to, and I did not prep E on any of this stuff. But I just want to show you guys how it's no different from if you're in your real career or if you're transitioning into entrepreneurship or if you're a hip hop artist or a raptivist or whatever. And E is one of those people who have 99 jobs. Okay. She is a mental health therapist. She has her own private practice. You also have the clinic. You write. It's just a lot going on. And one of the things that we hear a lot over here whenever we're reaching out to potentials is that they do not have time. What would you say to somebody who has an entire plate full? How do you tell them to still pursue their purpose or their dreams while not having time?
Yeah, I think it's not really about time. I think it's about priorities, number one. So, of course, your priorities are going to be your family and you got to go to work and you got to do these things. But we also watch our favorite TV shows. I always laugh with people who say they don't have enough time because they find time to watch Game of Thrones and Issa Rae and whatever she's doing, and that's great. But then they'll come to me and I don't have time. Well, that's just not true, because we just learn to make time for the things we want by prioritizing. Even if you only put 30 minutes to an hour a day into what you really want to do, you've made time for it. So when people say make time, they don't mean take your whole day with it, but at least put some type of effort into what you're doing every single day. I will tell you with complete honesty, every single day that I wake up, I do something, at least some small thing that's helping me toward my purpose, my goal with music, my purpose, my goal with helping others, and my purpose, my goal with being an activist. Every single day of my life, I do that in some way, form, or fashion. So if you're not doing that yet, that means maybe you're not that passionate about it. Because when you have a real dream and a real goal, you get obsessed with it. And Deidre can probably agree with that, because I have watched her over time say, I like this, it's cool. But now it's like, she probably wakes up every day thinking about it, and she goes to sleep at night thinking about it. That's what real dreams and goals and visions are. They haunt you so that you have to make time for it. Would you agree with that?
I like that. I like that a lot. Another thing that I wanted to pick your brain on, and I just kind of want to run through a lot of the stuff of what we hear whenever we're reaching out to people. And like some of the team, like some people are within like their first 90 days or they're within their first year. And you can get really upset or bummed out when people are quitting on you, or when people are telling you no. Now, you have worked with some major artists.
Yeah.
How often are you told no? And how do you overcome when these labels are telling you no, I'm not ready, or you're not the style that I want to sign, or something like that? Like, how do you deal with the no, and how often are you told no?
Oh, that's a great question. I love that. For me, as a female hip hop artist, it's even me being overlooked. That's a different form of being told no. For example, guys, I won 2016 Houston Best Rapper by the Houston Press, which is one of the biggest magazines here, right? So they have deemed me the best rapper in Houston. However, I just recently opened up for Mike Jones, and they put me like in the middle of the set instead of right behind the star, right? Which would make sense if I'm the best rapper in Houston. So to me, that's a diss, right? It's like, okay, you're the best rapper, but you're a girl, so we're gonna put you after the guys, right? That happens all the time. So what I have learned to do is to be 10 times faster, better, stronger, and create my own lane. When you create your own lane, people figure, oh, she doesn't need me. Maybe I better go knock down her door because I'm missing something, because me telling her no did not stop her. And they start to look at you and say, wait a minute, she's doing something right, because even though she's being told no, she's being looked over, she's still creating opportunities. And when you want people to join in on what you're doing, like for example, I have blooming season, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have to walk in that. So I have to look like I'm blooming all the time, right? And people want to be a part of that because they see me doing it. So it's not about talking to somebody, hey, this product is really cool, it does it. It's about showing them what it does, right? It's about living in that every day. That's a part of your branding, your marketing, how you carry yourself, how you put your energy into it. Because if I don't see you posting about it all the time, how are you really serious about it? If I don't see you talking about it all the time, how do I think you're really serious about it? I don't know that. All you're doing is telling me to sign up. All I think about is I'm just helping you. How is that going to help me? Because I'm not experiencing you experience it. So I need to see you doing it, not just talking about it, but living in it. And like I said, you really have to immerse yourself in it. And that takes, I'm not going to lie, some sacrifices. So, yeah, you have kids, and yeah, you have a job, but what are you willing to sacrifice? Is it a little bit of sleep? Is it your favorite TV show? Is it going out to the club? Is it not eating out? I'm pretty sure there's something that you're doing that you can instead substitute that time and energy with your dream, your purpose, your goal, your vision, because you should be living in your vision before you do anything else. Is that a good answer? I don't know. I'm just
No, I am about to actually write that down. I think I want to quote that sometime this week during my inspirational post on Facebook. Okay. But this is all great stuff. Another population that we deal with are people who don't necessarily have the confidence. The confidence in themselves, the confidence to talk to other people. Like, how do you got the opportunity to work with Matthew Knowles, and I'm only throwing that out because everybody know who Beyonce daddy is, and I feel like that's a pretty big deal. Okay. Right. So like, how do you get the confidence? Like, you've been around people who have, I mean, like, stuff is already in you, but like, you also have a busload of people who are like coaching you to help you become the woman that you are now. How do you get the confidence?
Oh, that's a great question too. Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, I started doing hip hop, right? The first time that I performed, I was booed. It was horrible. It was really, really bad. The music was messing up, so that threw me off. So I was all off beat and wasn't making a whole lot of sense. And guess where I'm at in high school, where kids are very, very mean, right? And so they were like, boo, get off, huh? And then not only did they boo me that day, they made fun of me every day for weeks, okay? So at that point, I'm not finna lie to y'all and say I was ready. I bounced back. That's a lie. That's not true. It was a journey for me, right? So initially I said, man, forget this. I don't want to do this anymore. But again, that love, that genuine love that I have for music, I don't want to live without it, right? So that made me prioritize what I'm doing, right? So if I really love this music thing, I'm going to have to conquer some fears. How do you conquer fears? Nike has a great quote. What is it? You just do it, right? So the first thing that you do is maybe not pick the best audience, maybe pick something simple first that you can conquer. For example, before I performed on big, huge stages, I would go to poetry readings, right? Because in poetry, everybody's loving. They're not gonna boo you most times. They're gonna be supportive. So I would go to poetry readings pretty much once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and just share my art, right? And then I got more and more confident. Not only did I get more confident, I got inspired. I learned what did work, what didn't work. That's why I have a good stage performance, because I worked my way up to that by doing small audiences, people that I knew were gonna be supportive. So you sort of have to put your toe in, right? You sort of have to put your toe in. So if you're not confident, go to a couple people that you know are going to listen to you and be supportive. Make an ass out of yourself then, right? And do that a few more times and keep making an ass out of yourself till it's just funny to you and you don't really care. And then start going up to maybe more strangers. I tell people, I work with clients who have anxiety. I always tell them to like go to a Starbucks and start a conversation with a random person. Just do that. Very simple. No big deal. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Hey, what kind of drink are you having today? Oh, I'm having this. Oh, that's cool. I really wanted to try that. Let me know how it is. Do that every day. Meet someone new. Shake a hand. And the way you meet someone new is to ask them about themselves. Don't start talking about you. Say, hey, how are you doing, man? What do people normally say to me? Oh, my God, I love your hair. That is a conversation piece. Guess what I always do? Pay a compliment back. Well, I really like your hat too. It's actually really dope. I like your glasses. And then we have a conversation, right? So have conversations with people. Guess what? It doesn't have to have anything to do with it works. Just have conversations with people and build relationships. Get comfortable communicating. And then it becomes easier to then say, oh, by the way, this is what I do. Or guess what? Because you've given them a piece of you, they're going to ask you, well, what do you do? And then boom. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Here's what I do. Am I lying?
No, you're not. Here's the plug. Since you asked.
Yeah, this is free information, guys. Are you writing this down? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, no, it's the truth. Like, I don't know if people understand what's going on, but this would normally be like an $80 per person type of situation.
Yeah.
So I want to and I know you can't do this in a short amount of time because I have seen your exercises and like I walk away with tears. And I really want everybody to walk away knowing exactly who they are, where they came from, so that they can get over the hurdle, so that they can go out and go build those relationships, and they can go out to go start those conversations. So I've seen you do two different exercises that have really stood out in my mind. And one of them was when you made everybody stand. You were on the ground like barking like a dog. Do you remember that? When you made everybody get out of their comfort zone? Either you can do that one in get everybody into that mindset to complete that task, or your mirror exercise. I feel like that's super powerful. Can you give everybody a quick rundown in the fastest way possible? Because I don't want to take up your whole night, but those two exercises are super healing to me. And we both know, coming from a therapeutic background, when you are healthy, you can then help somebody else. And I think a lot of times we get stagnant in our performances and in our businesses because we're not fixed. Mm-hmm. So can you fix us and give us a quick mini session? You can do one or one or the other. If you have time, let's do both.
Well, okay. The bridge exercise is when you're talking about where I made you do movements and things.
Girl.
That's better in a group. So maybe we'll get together soon and we'll do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if everyone has a mirror or they can put the camera on themselves. But one of the things that you have to do is look at yourself before you can talk to, inspire, educate anyone else. You need to do that for yourself. That's why a lot of people don't come off as genuine and authentic, because they don't really have themselves together and they're trying to tell you to get yourself together, right? So the first thing I think that we should all learn to do is look within ourselves, right? Because we are so distracted by everything around us. There's a lot of things tugging at us, right? From social media to family to work, financial stress, even being in traffic. All of that stuff is makes us anxious, right? But we forget to look inside of ourselves a lot because we believe that our peace, our happiness, our success lies in other things. And that is the wrong way of thinking. Everything that you need, it starts with you. It sounds very cliche, but I promise you, if you actually put all that energy into yourself as you do other things like social media and going out or whatever, your life will change almost instantly. It's crazy how that can happen. So if you have a mirror, if you don't have a mirror, that's okay. You can actually close your eyes. So it's sort of like a meditation for yourself. I know some of you may pray. This is why prayer is very strong, because it's similar to meditation. It's about the same thing, really, because prayer makes you do what? Even though you're asking God or talking to God, you're really looking within and you're asking for what you really want or need. That's how cool prayer is. It forces you to look at yourself and ask some real questions, right? So basically that's what you need to do right now is either take a mirror or close your eyes. Do not move. Do not do anything. You can just listen to the sound of my voice. But you need to close your eyes and focus, or look in that mirror and focus. It's very powerful to look in the mirror because you have to look at yourself. Now, when we usually look in the mirror, what are we doing? We're messing with things, imperfections. We're worried about our eyebrows, our eyelashes, our hair, our skin. But if you just actually look at yourself, how you do that is looking through the eyes. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look at any imperfections or even things you like. Just right in between the eyes. Just look in the eyeballs and stare. Just stare. And if you have your eyes closed, just be at peace, sitting in silence, thinking about no one else, nothing else but you and who you are and where you are right now. Stay in that, sit in that, don't get distracted, don't think negative thoughts, only think about you. And then ask yourself this one question: what is it that I really want? What is it that you really want? What do I need right now? And what do I want? Ultimately, when all is said and done, what is it that I really, truly want? If you keep doing that, I want you to do that silently. The answer should pop up in your head without you even trying, just by you asking, what do I want? What do I really, really want? What is it that I really, really want to have in my life? What do I need? It should be one word. It's not going to be a bunch of things. It's not going to be fame, clothes, money. It's not going to be that. What do I really, really want? So even if you can't get there today, I would suggest before you go to bed tonight, you just lay there and think about, what is it that I really want? And when you identify that thing, that is a part of beginning your purpose, right? That is when you can get started on what you really want, what your goal is, and what your dream is, and what your ultimate purpose is. Did you come up with something, D?
I owe you about $1,000 for that.
So what is it you really want?
You put me on the spot like I'm not here for a therapy session.
You know what you want, because I saw you. I can see your face better than everyone else. What do you want?
There's a lot of things that popped into my head. There's a lot of things that popped into my head. I want peace.
Oh, yes.
Peace right now. And it's not like my life is chaotic, but my life is chaotic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I look at my to-do list, like I get frazzled. And like a lot of times I don't even want to I can't even focus on one thing because there's too many things on that list. Hence the reason why you may get a phone call in the middle of the day like, let's go eat.
Right.
Because I got to take a break from it. But that's neither here nor there. But I love that exercise, and I often do that. Like whenever things are like too crazy, or I feel a shift, or if I'm being pulled in a different direction, that exercise is exactly what I stop to do, because that's what helps me move into the direction that I know is coming from within. So love that, E. Literally $1,000 script. Like I'm gonna end up pulling you real soon, maybe for like a Ruby retreat. This is being recorded, so I can't really say, but I'm gonna pull you because I really want you to get into our heads like you did mine and Jared's when you saved our marriage a couple of years ago. So definitely looking forward to that. You talked a little bit about purpose.
Yeah.
And I, again, with the mindset and being strong in that area, because at the end of the day, this thing is 80% mental and it's 20% action, right? I know that you guys agree with that. And you have to have a strong muscle up here. So I know that there are a lot of people, and I don't know if it's somebody who's on this Zoom, but a lot of people come to me and they ask me, what is my purpose? And I can't give that answer. So can you help drive people to understand what their purpose is and how they can use their purpose and their talent within this industry? I know you get a chance to, for example, like I know your purpose, like you said, you inspire people. That's how you do it through your music. That's how you do it through your sessions and all those sorts of things. But your talent is really to talk to people, to teach people how to give people peace. Hence another reason why you're in my top 5, because mine don't be all that peace all the time. But like those are your talents compared to your purpose. So can you help drive people to create the mindset to use those two things to help them become more successful here?
Absolutely. And I think that's really that says a lot about you, that people ask you what their purpose is. So that's something for you to think about too, because I didn't know that. You never told me that. People ask you that all the time. That's deep. That says the energy that you're attracting to them, right? So guys, listen, purpose is so important, and it's crazy that we will go all our life not really knowing what it is until it's too late. So let's take this time to really break down purpose, right? Purpose is what you're supposed to be doing in this life, right? That's basically how we can define it. Your purpose is very, very smart to kind of align your talents and your skills with your purpose, right? Because that's how you're able to thrive off of what you do, but still live in your purpose. How do we find our purpose? I took a couple notes because there are so many things that I could tell you, but I want to keep it short. Let me give you my example, okay? So I have always been the golden child in my family, right? And I was expected to achieve and do great things because no one else did. That's just the truth. And so I went all the way through school, right? I was a nerd. I went to school, even though, you know, I love music and the arts. I went to school. I got my master's degree. I went bachelor's, master's, straight through to doctoral school. And in the middle of my dissertation, that's the last thing you turn in before you're all done, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. So a lot of people, I saw her mom go, a lot of people don't believe me, right? So after all the student loans I've taken out and all the work I've done and my professors working with me, and I'm on like chapter 3 of it. I'm in tears though, because I hate what I'm doing, because I don't really like that side of mental health. I don't like researching and writing and papers, and it's a lot of snoozing and it's a lot of politics. My love is to help people and be on the ground doing the work. So what made me get to that point was a couple of things. So you need to first identify moments in your life. There are a lot of people that miss opportunities, right? You miss opportunities for identifying your purpose when you don't answer the call. Let me tell you. So the first time I noticed, I had a professor that told me, oh, don't worry. I told him I was stressed, and he said, well, don't worry about it. The best dissertation is a done dissertation. That just means in PhD world that just get it done. It doesn't really matter. That's stupid, because I wanted to do the research that proved my topic right, which was helping adolescents. So that rubbed me the wrong way. Then I kid you not, we had to take trips to meet with our professors and work on our dissertations. The last trip I went to, my cousin, who I hadn't talked to in years, hit me up randomly and said, yo, you in Atlanta? I'm here too. I'm going to come by and see you. And you know how people be like, I'm going to come by and see you. They not coming. So I didn't think anything of it. My cousin came by. He's talking to me, and then he just stopped what he was saying. We were laughing and talking. He said, yo, why did you stop rapping? I said, where did this come from? I haven't rapped since I was like 12 or 13. He said, did you know that you inspired me, and because of you, I'm in the music business? He said, I thought that you would change the world with your music because I thought you were very good at it, and I don't think you should ever quit. Holy crap, right? So it took a lot of balls for me, though, to sit down and say, I'm going to stop this PhD, the one that all my family is relying on. My mama can't wait to tell everybody, oh, my daughter's a doctor. You know how it is. And I had to stop. I had to stop. I didn't want to miss that moment. He gave me that moment. Whatever you believe in, the higher power came down and said, this is the person who's going to deliver this message to you. I could have said, oh, no, you're crazy, man. I'm going to finish this thing. But I would have been miserable. So stop doing things that please other people and really look at what it is you want to be doing. If you want to be a trash man, be the best damn trash man you can be. And don't worry about what somebody else got to say about it. Because at the end, it's about your happiness, right? So how do you identify your talent? Sometimes people will tell you and you're not listening. I tell Deidre all the time, she's very talented at a lot of things that I'm not talented. And she tells me what my talents are sometimes that I didn't even realize. Listen to people when they compliment you. Listen and accept that. Don't just write it off. Somebody say you got pretty handwriting. Maybe you're supposed to be writing. You know, some people tell you got a voice. Maybe you should be singing. Somebody tell you you're good with money. Maybe you should be in the financial world. Don't ignore that, because that's the energy. We can talk about this later, but everything is energy. It's what you're attracting. So if you spit on that, you're going to miss your opportunity. So take compliments and listen to the feedback that people give you. Also identify your talents and just what you can do naturally. Things that you can do naturally that don't bring you stress. Things that you would do even if you never made a dime for it. I would help people even if I never made money. I'm here, right? I would do this anyway. She's not paying me for it. I love it. It fills my spirit up to do what I'm doing right now. Music. Do that for free all the time because people don't want to pay you, right? So what would you do even if you never got paid? That don't mean we never gonna get paid. Don't get it twisted. It means That's what I would do even if I wasn't getting paid. That's what you need to identify. So accept the compliments, listen to the feedback, and identify your talents. And then figure out how to take my talent into my purpose, right? So if you have identified your purpose, or maybe you haven't, here's a quick way of identifying your purpose. Someone said this to me once. Think about the world. Think about the world and everything going on. Now tell me what breaks your heart about the world. That might be your purpose. What breaks your heart? Is it that people are starving? Does that break your heart? Is it that children are being abused? Does that break your heart? It breaks my heart to see people sad and unhappy and not living the life that they want to live. That breaks my heart, because I believe you only get one shot at this. We're not coming back. When we're gone, it's done deal, right? It breaks my heart when I see people not living in their purpose, right? So you need to decide, what is it that breaks my heart? That's probably has something to do with my purpose and what purpose I can serve. So identify what that thing is, and then try to intertwine it with your talents. So because I do music, I could have done any kind of music, right? I could be rapping some Nicki Minaj lyrics, drop it like it's hot, and I could be probably on the top of the charts right now because I can write way better than her. But that's neither here nor there. But my purpose is to inspire people through my music, because you know what? I love doing one-on-one therapy, but it only helps one person at a time. I don't like that. I want to be in front of thousands, helping them at the same time, right? So that comes through music. Music can touch a lot of people at a little bit of time. I also do motivational speaking. I can touch a bunch of people at once, because I want, before I leave, to have touched lots of lives. So that's a way that you can take your talent into your purpose. And if you don't understand that, then talk it through with someone. Because trust me, I didn't automatically say, I'm going to do positive hip hop and motivational speaking. No, it took me a lot of screw ups before I figured, this is my lane. And I just came up with Blooming Season this past year. And I feel like this is the moment, okay? So it's never too late. There's no clock. You just got to get there when you get there. And as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, you're going to get there. Trust me. It'll just be on your own time. Don't look at what anyone else is doing. Did that answer the question?
Yes, it did. It did. I'm going to open the floor up for questions, because we literally have a mental health therapist right here at your beck and call for the free. Okay. But I do want to ask you one other question. And it's related to It Works as well, because you talked a little bit about energy. Now, some of us are killing it and signing people left and right. There are other people who it's hard for them to recruit somebody or to sign somebody. Or some of us have teammates who nobody's listening. What can you say to all three of those people in relation to energy? Like how do you get past those things?
Listen, guys, I'm not a salesman, right? I'm very poor. I tell her all the time, I'm not a salesman. I have a manager. I have someone doing my booking, because I'm not good at that. I'm just me, and I don't like selling products. So trust me, when she asks me to do It Works, I say, I'm going to help you in any way I can. I'm not a salesman. It does not bring me joy to sell things to people, right? So, but I want you to know that you can sell anything. I've seen people sell anything. Trust me. The things that these people are doing, though, have little to do with sales and more about psychology. You have to understand people. You have to understand people. Quit worrying about, I'm trying to push this on you, and be concerned with people, drawing the people in a person, developing relationships, make them keep coming back for more of you. And because they want more of you, they will then support the I have people that after I perform, they will throw money. They will pop $10 for CD, they'll give me $50. Because they like something said or do. So they automatically support what I'm doing. So what do you think?
I 100%. I've said this a lot, but it I find it interesting that You're saying the same exact thing. You're not even in the industry. It's just about people. Like I always tell my team, like at the end of the day, people are buying things from who they like, who they know, and who they trust. And in order to sell something, you have to give people all three of those things. You have to make people know you, which means that you have to be transparent. You have to make people like you, which means that you have to use your talents. Like I like to make people laugh. Like that gives me humor. I mean, that fills my cup. Like you have to make them know you, you have to make them like you, and you have to make them trust you. And by trusting you, that's just through the consistency of you sharing, especially on social media, because that's how we work. I find it dope that you just said everything of what I know to say.
Essentially, you're giving them something, even if it's not something that they can touch or see. You're giving them something, right? We need to offer them. That's what keeps coming back. So after you talk to me, I hope that you feel full, you feel inspired, you feel motivated. So then it won't be a big deal when I say, hey, come back. Hey, come back again. Oh, now guess what? I got this book, right? Mm-hmm. So, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy that book, because every time I talk to you, I leave with something. So don't leave them with nothing. How are you inspiring them? You know people that want to lose weight, be healthy. How are you inspiring them to take that next step? What are you offering them? It could be your personality, like what you said. Are you funny? Do you make laugh? Do you give them motivation? What is it that you do for them that will make them come back again?
I love that. You starting to break up just a little bit. It's just a little bit of feedback. But I love what you said. You just said that you just basically just constantly give to them. And I just want to throw out a tip for those of us who are working on social media to not ask all the time. Like you can ask in a DM, like one-on-one, but we don't want to be doing posts that are like, join my team and use this product, those sorts of things. Like on the outside, you have got to give to people so that, again, just like what Genesis said, that once you do go over to their inbox and you do ask them to do something, then they'll be more likely to do it. I noticed like a lot of us, and not just people on our team, but just people in network marketing, period. There are people who are sharing. There are people who are telling people what to do. And then there are people who are asking people what to do. And you want to be the strong person who is actually giving to people and inspiring them and feeding them. So again, once you do go over to that inbox, it's more likely that they'll say yes when you do ask them or you tell them what to do from that point forward. So I love that. I want to open the floor up to ask any kind of questions. You cannot have a one-on-one therapy session right now, but any type of hurdle that you may need to address, get over, an insecurity or anything, feel free. Pick the therapist's brain. Everybody needs to have one in their corner. We can open the floor for questions. I guess I can turn it off of this view. Nobody has questions?
Well, maybe we told them everything we need to know. Well, let me see while you're talking. I mean, you're talking to ask. There's still some feedback, I think.
Yeah, I hear it too. I'll mute my end.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
As a guy in the industry, do you feel that I guess better for a man? Is it easier for a man to approach a woman, like as far as going towards like, so the rap is the face of the company, right? So more or less, so I've been more involved with the weight loss of the side. So I found it difficult to push rapping. So myself, I've been going more towards trying to make someone feel comfortable with being involved with like either weight loss or hair. So I mean, as far as like you dealing with guys, maybe I don't know, in the industry or more worldwide, like what would you say makes you feel comfortable? Like what would you think a guy would be saying coming towards you to introduce like a network marketing product? Just out the blue. I'm just random.
Are you kidding? Listen, The opposite. That's even better. Let me tell you something. People think I talk a lot about Black women and love and women. Actually, 60 to 70% of my audience is males. It's dudes. So even though I'm speaking about love and women and all that, no one cares. It's the guys who support, who actually go click on my stuff, support down. It's dudes. So there's something about us wanting to be more open to feedback from the opposite sex, I believe. I don't know. Maybe that's another dissertation topic, but I believe you have the upper hand because you are a guy. I have some friends that are personal trainers, and they absolutely do better with the opposite sex because it's just something about, I want to know what you think, right? So you have to feel comfortable with them talking about, I would maybe even ask them, what do you not like about yourself? But remember also to give that compliment.
Okay.
Remember also to give that compliment. You know, whatever. You have really nice eyes. But I wonder what you don't like about yourself. They'll tell you, trust me. Oh, I really don't like this extra, this muffin top I got. Oh, yeah, for real. Let me tell you. And then just have a conversation with them. Like, I can understand that. You can take personal stories. Like, I used to have a girlfriend who couldn't stand it. Even if you make it up, I hate to tell you the lie, but you can say, I used to have this girlfriend. I'm just saying.
I do that.
I was marketing, right? So I would say, ooh, my girlfriend, this and that and that. And do you know what actually worked for her? You think that woman not gonna be like, what worked for her? She's gonna want to know. That's what.
Okay.
See how you just had a conversation. You didn't come and try to sell. You say, hey, man, you have really cool. I wonder what you don't like about yourself. This is what I don't like about myself. Man, I had somebody like that, and you know, they started using this one thing, and I think it really works for them. You know, if you want some,
I got you.
If you want some help with that, let me know. Never even mention that you're selling to them. If you want some help with that, let me know. I got some ideas. You got some ideas?
Okay.
Well, what are your ideas? Right? So they're gonna want to know.
Right.
You leave people kind of wondering and wanting to ask you more questions. When you get them, when you get them asking you questions, you got them. You just got to close the deal, right? I hope that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I can't hear you. Are you muted, Deidre? Oh. Now
You said you're not a salesperson, but
Killing it. Oh, she killed it.
Listen, I sell hope.
Okay,
I don't
girl.
sell hope, I sell hope. Yeah.
That was cute. That was cute. Who else has a question?
Great question, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Hey. Hello.
Hey.
This is Ronnie. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I still don't know how to work this thing. Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you. I said my name is Ronnie. My real name is LaRonda, by the way. Hi.
Hey.
And so I just wanted to let you know that I did do the exercise, even though you guys couldn't see me because I'm kind of like walking around trying to do multiple things, but I did do the exercise and it really did like help me. Like I think I was getting a little teary-eyed a little bit. I don't know. I've been dealing with anxiety a lot, so I know that that's something I need to work on. I actually got my bachelor's in psychology. I never did want to go further than that though with the psychology degree, but so that's something I've been working on because I actually like studied that stuff. So I've been dealing with that lately, but yeah, anxiety has been getting the best of me for some reason. And so that whole little like meditation exercise that you just did, I wanted to appreciate that. That's something that I will be doing more of in the future.
Well, let me say, LaRonda, thank you so much for that. And do you know why you had that response? I'm going to tell you, even if you don't want to know. It's because you finally begin to pay attention to yourself. We don't do that. How many times do you say, how are you doing? You ask other people how they're doing all the time, even when you don't want to know. But you never say, LaRonda, how are you doing? So what you just did right then was say, how are you doing to yourself? And yourself told you, I'm feeling a little anxious. And that's where those tears were coming from because you were just on the brink and you better be glad I wasn't there because we would have had us a good moment in person. It's better in person. But that's what it was. The body doesn't lie to you guys. If you're experiencing something, it's because your spirit is not right. or your physical is not right, or your mental is not right. Those are the 3 points of human beings: physical, mental, and spiritual. You have to identify the source of your anxiety, right? But talking to yourself is something we don't do, and I'm so glad you did that today. You're in the right direction. Do that every day, or at least a couple times a week. Just, how are you doing? And be honest. Don't lie. Don't do that. I'm okay. I'm around. No, today I feel really anxious. I'm exhausted, and I don't want to be doing this. And then do some self-love. Do some self-care, even if it's painting your toes and nobody's in the room and it's quiet. You did that for LaRonda and no one else, because it sounds like you're giving a lot of yourself, right? Which is what we have to do, of course, when we're trying to achieve goals, but we also can never forget the soul. The soul and the spirit is the most important thing. So thank you for that.
I love it. Anybody else want to pick the therapist's brain?
I don't necessarily have a question. I don't necessarily have a question, but I want to say basically everything that she was talking about basically was hitting on between today, Deidre, what you were saying in the post, and with the vision board yesterday. Like, my biggest issue was like confidence. Like, I don't really, it's really, I don't really like talking to people. Like, a lot of people tell me, like, my friends will come to me like for advice. Oh, you're good at helping people. I'm always helping people figure out stuff or how to do this. They always come to me for that, but I don't like walking up to strangers or people. I'm not like the friendly type. Like, even when I met you, the girl that was with me ended up talking to you, and that's how I met you. Because I would have sat there that whole soccer season and not said nothing if ain't nobody said nothing.
I would have talked to you.
So it sounds like you need to practice our little exercise of starting conversations with people. Just start a conversation. It does not have to, trust me, it can be something so small. Give a person a compliment, ask them a question. Like today I was in line and I didn't know if I got the right product. I turned around and said to the lady, do you think this is going to work with my iPhone? I was buying the auxiliary cord. Then we started laughing. You just never know where it's going to take you. Also, you have great hair. You have awesome hair. People will be attracted to you because of your hair. They will come and talk to you. They will pay you compliments, and you're missing an opportunity to talk about yourself through your hair. Because when they say you have awesome hair, thank you, girl, and start a conversation with them. Don't let them leave.
Yeah, that's what I do, because I'll be like, okay, thanks,
bye.
But it's funny because you said that, because we went to the vision board and the lady was saying a lot of the same stuff that you're saying. Like, I was saying, like, I was laughing because I say my family's like I'm a degree collector. I just do stuff because people tell me, oh, I need to do this. Or I'll go to school for psychology and I'll switch for this and then I'll do this. And it's just like I'm always doing stuff to make everybody else happy, but never really looking at myself.
What did you
and
come up
even
with? When you said, what do I want? What did you come up with? Did you get an answer?
No, that's what I didn't. It was just like, I don't know.
Ooh, you got some searching to do. So you need
to
I see you got company. You need to do that exercise. You need to try to do that in silence. So even if it's driving on your way to work, don't turn the radio on or anything. You need to spend time with yourself. It sounds like a lot of y'all are trying to get outside of yourself, and you run from yourself. So you got to get in touch with who you are. You got to get in touch with who you are and what you want, and that's where it starts, right? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else got anything? We'll take one more.
Actually, I do. This camera.
Hey, boo.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Hey, girl.
Okay, so my question is, how do you choose your protein without it like being a whole bunch of starch? Because I remember you and a call about health and wellness.
How do you do what now?
And I know some of my customers, I don't know why my phone is acting up, my service. So some of my customers, they are trying to like go towards the plant-based because they watched the movie What the Hell.
Oh, yes.
like searching and looking at different products, but then they're just like, okay, I'm eating a lot of starches, I'm eating a lot of beans and rice and stuff like that. So I was just trying to see like some other options like that aren't so starchy, because I'll tell them to do cauliflower rice and it's like, oh, I don't like cauliflower. Or do a vegetable with complex carb. Oh, I don't like broccoli. So, how do you not necessarily point them in the right direction, but, be a resource, but then share a resource at the same time without like pushing them away?
You got it. That's what it is. So for you, that needs to be some of your marketing techniques. Don't just tell them one-on-one, share that. Like, share a really dope video of somebody eating some delicious vegan food. They're going to say, where'd you get that from? What is that? Oh my God, I want it. Oh, check this out. You can get it here. And while you're eating it, you can have this with it, this shake, right? That's what use that as a marketing tool. You have just identified an unmet need. So fulfill that need. That's the giving them something, because they too lazy to go just Google it. You can totally Google it, right? Let that be your resource for them. Hey, every day just share some things you can do differently with your diet, because it sounds like the people that you're talking to are wanting to change their habits, right? So post articles about habits. Post articles about plant-based foods and different fun things that you can try. Post videos. Videos are really popular now on the internet, so you need to be posting videos. But yes, you want to meet that need for them so that they come to you for that answer.
That actually brought up a really good topic. People on the team, I don't show therapy, Deidre, because I don't think that anybody's gonna be able to understand that side of me, because I'm entrepreneur Deidre all the time. But can you give everybody a quick rundown of those the four things of how, whenever we were in PLL and we were teaching people the 4 different steps, and one of them, the 4 seeds, with one of them being the basic needs, just so that whenever we're having conversations and we're coaching our teams and we're talking to potentials, like, can you tell everybody what those 4 seeds are so that we can look for them, so that we can be the solution for them?
Wait. Are we talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Or are we talking about the seeds that cause, okay.
Yeah, the seeds.
Misuse of power and yes. So there is misuse of power, which means the power is in the wrong hands, right? It's sort of like playing chess. You should always be a step ahead, and you should know what's going on, right? Other people should not have power over you. You should not be anyone's doormat. So misuse of power, unhealed wounds, huge. So many people far and wide have unhealed wounds. They cannot get past something. Some trauma can be very small. Some trauma can be huge. But there just are a lot of unhealed wounds happening. So you got to solve that. People have unmet needs, right? Unmet needs. So if I don't have food, water, shelter, I can't be concerned with doing other things like going to get a degree, because I don't even have food on the table, right? So we have to meet our basic needs before we do anything else. And then the last thing is we need to identify any mental health issues or concerns. I hear a lot of talk about anxiety, and people don't understand that that's like one of the major mental health issues right now. Is people don't even recognize that they're anxious, that they have a lot of anxiety, and that can hold you back. You can really be paralyzed by fear and anxiety. It's probably one of your worst enemies. From what I hear a lot of you saying, your worst enemy is the fear and anxiety. So you want to identify those seeds. Those seeds help you figure out what's going wrong in life, basically. Is that what you were talking about, Dee?
Yeah, and I guess just to bring it full circle back to how that applies to network marketing, and it's more or less whenever it comes to the people who we're talking to, the people who are giving us the excuses, even our teammates, whenever we run into hurdles, because I run into hurdles too, like whenever I don't feel like working the business, and almost 99% of any time whenever we're completely stressed out, whenever we have anxiety behind something, whenever someone's giving us excuses, whenever someone's not answering our phone calls because they don't have a 150 in personal bonus volume, or they ain't run no ADBV auto ship, or whatever it is, it's always one of those 4 seeds. And just as a run back, it's either a misuse of power, like the power's in the wrong place. They may be completely distracted by work that they can't even focus on the business. Okay, that's a misuse of power. And then the wounds, of course, when we know that maybe, somebody told you that you weren't going to be good at this, or somebody told you that the products don't work. Like, that's all wounds, because that stuff is just sitting in. I just really wanted us to go over those things, because whenever you're ahead of the game, whenever people are telling you excuses, or whenever our teammates are doing certain things, like whenever you're ahead of the game, you're able to become the resource, like Tam was saying, or be the solution, and you can understand and move past the hurdle a little bit faster. So I hope you guys got those things down. It was just a misuse or a misplacement of power. Unmet needs, when people just don't flat out have the money to even run an ADBV auto ship. The same deal with wounds. And the last of mental health. We have got to stop and take care of ourselves. Like, I literally unplugged for the whole weekend, and I am back with a vengeance inside of my 100s list. So thank you so much for those 4. And I hope that you guys received those things. Does anybody else have anything else? This is literally an hour. This would have been so pricey if Genesis Blu was not my friend. So do you guys have anything else? The last note that I want to reiterate is how important it is to have a solid foundation of the people who are pouring into you. You guys already know how I highly, highly recommend to surround yourself with people who are supportive, people who are going to give you the truth, and not just yes people, because Genesis will shut me down in a heartbeat. Okay, you don't want to just have yes people around you, but you want to have people who are going to pour into you and tell you the truth. And also, like, people who are going where you're going. Like, if Genesis was to quit music, and I know that she never would, and she was just like, you know what, I'm just going to be a therapist, I just don't even know if we would even be able to be friends, because that means that she would have stopped and I would have continued to grow. So I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are like that. You will become the average of the 5 people that you associate yourself with, whether you want to or not. And the higher you go, the more you continue to grow, the harder it's going to be to find those 5 people. It may be somebody on this Zoom. It may be somebody within It Works. Mine is not. Mine is outside. Mine is Genesis Blu and a couple of other people, including TD Jakes and Terry Seville. But it gets harder, but it's who you're spending your time with. And I wanted to definitely make sure that we chatted a little bit about that. If you guys don't have anything else, I just want to thank you so much for jumping on here. You are a very special person inside of my personal life. So to bring you on here into my world, like, it's super humbling, because I know you ain't got now time in the world. Okay, I probably won't even see you until like next week or something, but
no, we're gonna see each other this week. We've committed.
In real life, don't play.
Let me say this. Thank you to everyone for letting me share, because when I talk to you, it's also therapeutic for me. And of course, I wanted to plug blooming season, because I wouldn't be smart if I didn't. I think that you guys are all great candidates for blooming season. So in the coming days and weeks, I want you to just do one thing for me, which is go to my Genesis Blu page and like it. And then maybe turn on your notifications so that when I go live, you get the notification that I'm live, because I'm basically going to be doing this for free every single week. So go to Genesis Blu page, click like, and then turn on those notifications. And remember that it's blooming season. You can have anything that you want in this world. You just have to believe and work really, really hard. There you go. 2 things.
Can you spit something for us real quick?
Oh, man. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, okay.
Real quick.
What kind of stuff you want? Okay. Let's do blooming season.
Do it.
Okay. Sunshine rising, brand new horizons. I'm feeling like my planets have slowly started aligning. Ain't no such thing as perfect time, it's perfect timing. I suggest you reside in the state of mind that I'm in. So wake up, Mr. West. Mr. West won't make it to graduation if you can't pass the test. Life's a tough titty when you need the milk. You be fiending for that boy, and when they feed you silk, boulders come and tear everything down you built and try to take you off track like a Tokyo drift. But if your vision vivid, you concentrate on your mission, you genuine in your spirit, don't talk about it, but live it. I'm trying to spit it sincerely, rough diamond with clarity. Dreams are just reflections of something else that I'd rather be. So come with me, maybe we could fly away. Tomorrow is for the future, the past was yesterday.
I love it. All right, so, all right, you guys. Well, y'all got the blooming season plug. Make sure that you send her a friend request, a follow request. She's always dropping inspiration and those sorts of things. You cannot have my friend. You can't, okay? But I love you guys to pieces. Thank y'all so much for jumping on tonight. I hope that you were able to jot down something that is going to help plummet you into your purpose, into your destiny, into your vision, into your career here. And I hope that you're walking away fed, all right? Thank you so much, E. Love you, girl.
Peace.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon, mama.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.